Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. To start with, I'm so happy to be part of this amazing initiative in its first year. That, as you can see, with the number of attendees outside, not inside, it's a phenomenal achievement to get all those people in one place at such a grand event. From all over the world, it is truly global. Today we're going to discuss something that is extremely important in my eyes because it touches on the topic of government communications. And government communications in this time and age is not very easy at all. As people access media online and on media platforms, governmental entities had to shift. They had to find new strategies, they had to find new platforms, they had to find agile platforms to deliver the messages to their community. And this required a change in strategy, a change in platforms, and a change of perspective to achieve the efficiency that they need. And to talk to us about this is a very dear friend of mine. I'm honored to have Her Excellency Heba Fatani, the Director General of Al-Khayma Government Media Office. Prior to that, she had her position as a Senior Executive Manager of Corporate Communications for Kingdom Holding. The reason why I'm saying this is that she has the best of the two worlds, the private and the governmental, so she would be able to give us more insight with regards to this subject matter. I just want to start with a question. You know, we have seen a significant change in how people perceive media and how people use media, and whether we like it or not, the information consumption has changed dramatically. And social media platforms have taken the front seat, and everybody is changing. The current landscape, how do you assess it? How do you see it?
First of all, thank you, Nashwa, very much. I'm honored to be on the panel with you. I would like to also take the opportunity to thank the Global Media Congress. This is a great platform. I'm so excited about all the possibilities, the collaboration with the media and with the experts in the field. This is a crucial time for this kind of collaboration, so thank you again for the organizers. You know, we are speaking here today about government communication. Perhaps to put context into government communications, maybe we take a bit of a step back. What was government communications before? It was the government would put out information, would put out news, but it was more of a one-way communication, almost like the megaphone approach. Perhaps maybe actually in this region, we always had the culture of the majlis. So the majlis is like the council of leaders and dignitaries or tribal leaders. And people used to come from the community. They used to come and they would address issues that they have, or they would comment on certain things that they are living, or you know, just feeling close actually to the government. Fast forward today, government communications has to be, as you said, as agile and as flexible as the new audience. So the audience today, how do they look like? Who are they? The audience today are not passive like they used to. They're not just taking information and just sitting there. You know, sometimes I think everyone could put a statement online, becomes a global journalist, right? So a citizen journalist. And it is important at this time to really set the government as the source of news, to be able to address people and certain demographics, age groups, in a language that everyone can understand. You know, in the region, I've read that 60% of the society is below age 30. Who are they? What platforms are they on? Governments, in order to be able to reach to the community, must have that two-way communication. They must understand what are the platforms, what languages do we want to address them, but also maintain our credibility as a source of news. So this allowed us really to look at the digital era in a very opportunistic way. What can it offer to us? It can offer to us that it can give us the analysis, the data. We can listen to the community. We can understand what are their needs and therefore address them. I read a study in Deloitte that said the strength of communication with governments, they have to seem that they are capable, that they are reliable, that they are transparent and they are human. I need to talk to the human. I need to give them the story. I need to cut through the noise to allow them to understand that I'm here for you. I'm here to give you the news. I'm here to support you. And there is so much news going around, and you know, we need to be that source.
10 years ago, when anyone would say that we'd be using Twitter to get the news, the latest, for instance, from a governmental entity, we'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Now, all the leaders in the world, they put it on Twitter first. So they put it before Euronews, before CNN, before anyone. It's there. It's their accounts they're talking about. And other platforms as well. How did this shift in the digital media affect RAK's communication strategy, the governmental communication?
Okay, so in Ras Al Khaimah, I mean, I can talk forever about Ras Al Khaimah. I'm so passionate about it, and but I think because of the time, let me take you back to the very important start of Ras Al Khaimah Government Media Office in 2018. Basically, it started with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Saqr al-Qasimi, ruler of Ras Al Khaimah. What was the vision? He wanted one voice for Ras Al Khaimah, a voice that can really showcase what Ras Al Khaimah has to offer, the beauty of it, the vision of how it wants to move forward, and wanted people to be a part of that vision. So if we look at it, I understood what the need was, but we needed to understand where is the perception. So we came and we said, let's do it evidence-based. Let's create a baseline. I need to know before we put any strategy, where is the gap of perception? So we actually put polling and research, went out to the communities, to the leaders, to the business people, to the community at large, and we wanted to hear what they had to say. We also did a digital audit. This digital audit allowed us to see, okay, this is where we want Ras Al Khaimah, and this is what's happening in Ras Al Khaimah, but the perception is here. That's great. Let's close that gap. This allowed us as well to adopt a digital first, community first. And I'll tell you what I mean with that. So we are digital by default. We're fortunate enough that, you know, we are young, so we have learned a lot from also everyone around us in the ecosystem of the media, and we decided that we wanted to do the digital. This is the fastest way to communicate our message and effective way, but also to keep the community first in our mind. So we always have a question: how can we make someone's life better in Ras Al Khaimah? Whether we answer something about business or their life or a question that they might have.
The human element.
The human element, exactly. And we have used data to inform us. You know, I can now see and analyze and understand what exactly messages I want to bring forward, but also I'm able to listen to everybody that's in my ecosystem. What are the questions that they're asking? I can answer them implicitly, or I can answer them explicitly. I can take these messages, craft a message house, and create unique content. So digital is all about cutting through that noise. Unique content affords you that. So with a strategy, with putting unique content that supports and answers these questions, I think it's really the way forward. We are growing. We want to invest in Web3. We want to invest in artificial intelligence and machine learning to really aid us to see how we can be there for the community.
Have you mentioned that, with every change in atmosphere and every change of tools that you use in the media, there comes opportunities and challenges.
Absolutely.
What kind of opportunities do you see in this common age, and what kind of challenges are you facing?
I think some of the challenges, I'll start first with the hard stuff. Some of the challenges would be that we need to really be seen as a credible, transparent, empathetic voice, because we need to allow people to connect with us so that they can get the information from us from a reliable source. We saw that clearly, for example, at the time of the COVID, the pandemic. So what happened was, I think, and I have to say this, Nishwa, I am so proud of the UAE, of how they have handled the pandemic. They came across as empathetic. Remember, we talked about Deloitte, human.
Yes.
Human, empathetic, transparent, data-driven. Not data-driven, they communicated to the society. They took us through the journey in a very uncertain time, and in uncertain times people panic and they need clarity, they need something or someone and guidance to look at. The United Arab Emirates even took people through their sanitization programs. They allowed people to see constant data, constant information, pragmatic decisions. So people really felt comforted, and they felt that the government had their back and that they are safe and they're in a good place. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I have to say Saudi as well did such a good job. I'm very proud of these two countries, and it allowed the whole world to really acknowledge the efforts, and that's really was wonderful. But as I said, the challenge is, how can we always be the source that is nimble, that is agile? If we've learned anything from COVID, we learned that we need to be as nimble, as agile as we can in face of adversity, how we can quickly move. As Ras Al Khaimah Government Media Office, we quickly wanted to partner with all the federal government. We told them, we're here, we're ready, our platforms are all yours. We need to consolidate our voices. This is something so important to have, and this, events such as this Congress really allows us to really collaborate. Opportunities, so many opportunities happen, with the digital area. It's a way to get your voice across, to be heard, to listen to people. Also, post-COVID, it was interesting because I don't think we can look at life the same way we did in the past. So now we're talking about remote work. Companies that didn't even acknowledge such a concept are now looking at it. They're looking at it as a feasible economic model. People, when they were in COVID, in lockdown, it allowed them to connect, ironically, with nature more. They didn't want to be in small places, so they wanted to go out and they wanted to connect with nature. It allowed us to almost stop. We saw there was an opportunity when we listened to what people were doing and how they looked at things and how they were expressing how they missed the outdoors. And we saw an opportunity there by connecting them to what Ras Al Khaimah has to offer, the beautiful mountains, the highest mountain in the UAE, the hiking trails, the tourism. It also allowed us to look at the models for digital nomads. What would it take for someone? Some people just would like to come have a new experience. Come 3 months, work, live, and explore. So it's a two-sided way. But
one of the things that we heard in the previous session with the chairman of Euronews, he said that everyone now has become a creator, has become a newsmaker. And this is, you know, it's not a straightforward statement to acknowledge as something positive all the time.
Yeah.
Because the maker of the news can make good news, can make bad news,
Absolutely.
can make rumors, can make so many things. How would the governmental communication sector help frame something like this and push it towards the positive side?
Okay. You know, I want to start with actually the speech, the keynote speech of Her Excellency Mazrui. She really, you know, in the beginning of the session, she really set the stage. She talked to me, she talked to every mother. These are real challenges on the ground. How can I inspire my kids to look at content that is beneficial for them and really allow them and guide them and not allow that vacuum of information with TikTok and things that might be helpful, but a lot of it is not. And she spoke as a mother. I listened to her. I listened. You know, she gave me goosebumps because this is exactly a challenge.
Yes.
This is how we feel. It keeps us up at night. You know, how can we control the message? How can we look at this? I think for effective government communication, maybe I would sum it up in 3 ways. The two-way communication. It's not enough that we're only pushing out information. We need to hear. We need to open our platforms. We need to understand where the needs are, where the question marks are. We need to be innovative in how we create the content so that we can become the, you know, the inspirational force for them to want to listen. Government may seem old for younger kids, but government can be fun, it can be exciting. We can actually address things that make them want to think about how they want to look at life and how they want to be a part of the future. Another thing that comes to mind, I always call it the 3 R's. So it's to be relatable, to be relevant, and to be reassuring. Relatable and relevant, we always hear that, and it is important. It's not something we hear. We hear it for a reason, because we need to be relatable to what kind of content are we doing. I need to, for example, understand that one platform might require a different tonality, another versus another platform. Who are my demographics? What am I looking at? Relevance is also very important. I need to know the right time. My subject, is it relevant to the global context? We don't live in isolation. Everything we do should be a part of the global dialogue. Also, I probably won't put a campaign out in the middle of the World Cup, exactly, in the semi-finals, because I know that's not going to be relevant or relatable at that point. But reassuring, I think government's biggest role is to reassure, to tackle how to address inaccurate news, how to tackle a crisis when it happens, to be that agile and capable and reliable. I need to reassure everyone that you are getting the information from me, but I've also got your back. I know what is good because I'm listening to what you're saying.
It's no longer Big Brother.
Absolutely.
You,
No.
It is there for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, maximizing the importance of data, how to understand that data, how to make it work for our benefit. Data now, I wrote it down, I have a memory problem, but, we've used the Watson, I believe, for artificial intelligence, IBM Watson, and it allowed us even to see what are the key words that are resonating and sentiments, so that we understand how to cater to these sentiments and these messages. We saw that, for example, when we did the data analytics, that healthcare, education, when we post news about that, it comes back, 200% more than we have anticipated. So it is important as well to utilize that data to really use it for our benefit. And the learning continues. The learning continues.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
For being here with us in this Global Media Congress, and inshallah, many more to come. Any last words?
And thank you for the audience, for the privilege of your time. I have to say something. I'm going to use this platform to invite you all to Ras Al Khaimah. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, and we are welcoming, and we love to have you all to come visit, to come live, to work, and I leave it with that.
That's the perfect utilization of communication. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here and listening to us. God bless you all.
Thank you, Nashwa.